Have you ever heard the phrase dress for the job that you want, not for the job that you have? Well, I used to take this phrase quite literally. Back when dinosaurs roamed the earth, I used to work in a cubicle. I would wear a shirt and tie every single day, even though it wasn't required. And I thought if I looked the part, I would get promoted. And I did get noticed, but that's not what got me to the next level. I want to take this phrase, dress for the job that you want, not for the job that you have, and turn it on its ear a little bit. Because looking the part and acting the part are two completely different principles. It's your actions and your habits and your preparation that move you forward. Whenever I really started to understand this concept, the first thing that I started doing was studying my industry. A challenge that I have for you is to get on your computer and set up Google Alerts for a once a week reminder about your industry. I've been doing this for at least 2 years now, and while I don't read everything, this really helps me keep my finger on the pulse of what my industry is doing, which, if you haven't figured out by now, is beverage. Setting up these alerts and understanding which direction your market is headed is already going to separate you from anybody else in your industry. The next realization that I had was to study the skills of my business. Whenever I was being coached, I would watch intensely on what my coaches were doing. I tried to understand how they executed and how they went about running their business. This might also seem kind of nerdy, but if you have any onboarding material or any manual on how your job works, you need to read that cover to cover. And then you need to run the play exactly as it's designed in that book. Because before you can break the rules, you have to know the rules inside and out, backwards and forwards, with your eyes closed, with your one hand behind your back. You have to be the best at running the play as it's designed before you can even begin to start thinking that you can make improvements to the plan. Once you get to that point though, you can expand your comfort zone because the basics will start to get boring after a little while. And that's when you start to expand. You can try new techniques. You can take bigger calculated risks. But here's the key. You cannot break the rules until you first understand them completely. Another game changer for me was whenever I realized I needed to study my customer. If you ever feel yourself getting complacent, it's time to switch it up. Change your route timing if you're able to. Walk to different parts of the stores. Talk to different customers, talk to different employees, and have longer conversations with decision makers. And never undervalue your role in the company. You're never just a merchandiser or just coverage. You're an important part of the business. So stop downplaying your role. What you need to do is lean in and up-level your role. Engage with people that are outside of your comfort zone. Ask questions that you don't understand and deliver on what they tell you whenever they do actually answer your questions or give you more information about how their business works or how you can be a better merchandiser or a better sales rep or a better consultant to them. I remember one of the first displays that I ever set up. It was in a Dollar General. I really just thought I was running the play. I did exactly what it said in my handbook, what I've seen in videos, what I've seen other people do with the company, and I didn't think there was anything spectacular about it. But whenever I sent it over the group text, I had a huge pat on the back from my boss and everybody else on the team thinking that that was such a cool display that I built up. But I was like, I'm just following the play. It was just a little 7-case shipper at the time. But there is a lesson in this, and that is just run the play. Whenever you run the play and it works, you're doing a great job. You don't have to go above and beyond all the time. Sometimes it's just about understanding the basics and running the play. Whenever you start to understand that, then the basics and running the play gets bigger and bigger and more complex. Once you have a really good foundation, you can start changing your actions and up-leveling yourself. This is what I mean by dressing for the job that you want. It's not about clothes, it's about you, and it's about your mindset. Studying your craft, understanding your business, showing up prepared, and doing this consistently. That is how you're going to grow into the role that you want.